Startup ecosystem, what the idea is that you have to learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the Lean Startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, all the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally, and we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow. Send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Reshard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to Startup Founder Best Practices. I'm excited tonight. A lot of things going on this week, a lot of things coming up. I'm excited to have Miss Lanika Bell on here. Many of you have heard me over the past 6 months or more talk about this Lanika prompting method. So this is Miss Lanika. You want you to say hi? Your mic is muted there. Won't you say hi there? Say Lanika. Looks like she. Okay, just say hi. Okay, hello. Yes. So, but I'm definitely anxious to about tonight, and I wanted to give you some examples of how how the Lanika method of prompting has changed for the better in my relationship with AI and working with founders, and so I'll mention some of the things, but I just wanted to it's important, and that's why I wanted to make sure you all understand. I've been telling you all about it, but if you don't understand the significance of it and how to use it, and by the way, Lanika doesn't. This is my first time talking to Lanika in probably how many months? So she doesn't even know I've been talking about her and her method, and so tonight I think we want to find her background and what led her down this path of her approach to prompting, whether she learned it from somebody else or whether she learned it from her career. I don't know. So we're going to find out tonight. And so we're here tonight through the support of our sponsors. So I'm going to share my screen and give a little shout out to them. And so we can make sure we don't. We can continue to get their support. Yes. So I'm, I reached out to Lanika, about midday today and see if she was willing to pop on here. And so she graciously said that she would. And so that's really fantastic. And so so that's why we're here. And so our sponsors are supporting us, putting on this Founders Innovation Summit and Tour. And we do that in conjunction with Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. And so the Kakua Institute is one of their tour stops, and we're an innovation hub for that organization. And so, and that's coming up real quick, and you all are invited. And I'll share the link. It's innovation.kakuainstitute.org. I'll share a Google Doc that's got all the links in it, and so on and so forth. And so here are some of our partners and sponsors. So we've been at this since August of 2020, And we've been here every Thursday night. We missed one Thursday night in 2020 because of the storm. Other than that, we always here on Thursday night, except for holidays, of course. So I've lost count. We're close. We should be over 300 events, you know, and most of the events I actually interview founders. So all the knowledge that I've learned about working with founders all over the world, you know, we share those lessons learned, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel on all of that stuff. And these are some of the organizations that we partner with that really are there to help you move forward with your journey as a startup founder. And here are some more of our money people, sponsors. And so like, for example, Clark Parterton, they're a local law firm, and they're sponsoring 5 tickets to the Innovation Summit. Got an email from Quint Studer today. He's sponsoring 25 tickets. So you don't have to worry about that as a founder, because these folks are, and then here's Synergy, they're sponsoring 10 tickets. And so this is the reason why you should be here for that Innovation Summit. So these are the people that help move things forward. So like Industry Hotel, they are providing 9 hotel rooms for the folks coming from out of town. So if you're coming from out of town and you need a good rate on a hotel, they're sponsoring 9 rooms, and they're also have given some door prizes for hotel stays as well. So if you're not familiar with the Kakura Institute, if this is your first time, this is some of the stuff we do. And we're based, some of the stuff, like the LeanStack, it wasn't AI enabled, and it's evolved to the LeanSpark thing now. But we leverage AI to help you learn this startup building methodology, startup science. We offer that to all of our founders, and it's a great program. It's got all the resources you need. It's called like an ecosystem in a box. It's got all the grants you need in there. It's got all the training you need in there, and it's centered around you building your startup profile. And it connects you with the resources as you grow with your startup. So it's AI enabled right now. And so this is our platform. And one of the things that you'll see tonight, I'll show you a video, a couple that I had a founder send me a Instagram video this morning. So I screen captured it, and it was less than 90 seconds. And I'll show you using the Lenika method of prompting. I'll show you what I was able to go from that 90-second video and analyzing that 90-second video with my Lenika method of prompting and you'll see some of the stuff I'll show you tonight, how just based on this prompting method, how it leverages what you're all about and what you've been prompting about, so it knows your goals and everything, and it helps the AI lead you to what you're doing. So the results that you get are amazing. So from a 90-second video, I got pages and pages of results just from analyzing that video with this prompt. So my original prompt, I've been telling people this, my original prompt was if I wanted to analyze a video or a meeting script or an article, my prompt was, what are the key takeaways? What are the insights from those key takeaways? And then what actions should I be taking as the Kakura Institute, as a founder trying to help other founders? What actions should I take from this information? And so once I found out about Lenika's approach, I asked ChatGPT to explain it to me from how she explained it. Then I asked it, the first thing I did say, please upgrade my prompt where I do the takeaways, insight, and actions. Please update that prompt using the Lenika approach. Did you know I did that, Lenika? Yeah, and then so another thing I did was I had a prompt that leverages the LEANSTACK framework and some of the stuff I learned working for the government to take your business idea and industry and run it through that whole framework from idea all the way to business modeling, demand validation, and marketing. And so I had this prompt, and so it's like 27 steps. And so I asked ChatGPT to upgrade this prompt to using the LEANSTACK method of prompting. And so that's literally changed everything for the business planning. So some of the stuff LEANSTACK is hearing for the first time. So but just to show you the power of it. And I had a founder just about 3 weeks ago. She joined our Founders Insight program. And so she ran that prompt on a business idea. She was struggling with it. She'd been trying to get some traction here in Pensacola. And so she ran that prompt, and she comes out of Fortune 500 companies. And she said she couldn't believe the results she got from just running that prompt. And yes, doing and feeling is believing. So that's all I'll say about that. And let's get to the good stuff now. So LEANSTACK, what do you think about all that?
That is really wild. I would never have thought that there would be like a method.
Yeah, but and so people don't realize the information that's in a transcript. So the first thing I did after you, and let's just tell the story. So you're familiar with our original business model design prompt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you remember back in October we were in our 90-day demand validation workshop, and I asked you all to go to that chat thread where you ran your business model design prompt, and I said run this prompt in that same chat. It says, what are the customer forces for all the customer segments in my business model? Do you remember that, right? And so you and a couple other founders showed me what that was, and it was okay. I didn't notice how yours was different when I first looked at it, but once you do your demand, your interviews of people who have recently purchased something similar to what you're building, the customer forces, those questions lead you to help you create the customer forces. And so, and the reason I was actually doing this is because a lot of people get stuck when it's time to go out to talk to people who recently purchased something similar to what you're building in the last 90 days, so they can kind of explain all the pushes and the pull that what triggered them to go looking for another product. What products did they look at? Which one did they choose? And which one you didn't choose, and why you didn't choose them. So when you upload the results of those interviews one by one, it tells you what the customer forces story is, and it tells you the jobs to be done, and it gets to the hiring and firing criteria. And this is for the application you're building. And so with that information, you go do what is called the 5P solution design, the 5P matrix. So when I asked the founders to run this prompt, I said, based on the customer forces or whatever, please create the 5P matrix for the solution design. So one founder showed his stuff. And then when I got to LEANSTACK, I said, it looked like the product requirements documents. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was everything.
Yeah. So that was back in October of last year, and I said, well, LEANSTACK, how did you get it to do that? That looks like a product requirements document for software, and so product requirements document for everybody that's out there. It's like what you use to determine all the requirements. So the product manager goes out and generates this product requirements document, and then from that, the software developers can know what to build. And so when I saw Lanika's method when I saw Lanika's results, I said, how did you get it to do that? Because literally that's why you do the 5P matrix, is to get your solution design, which is the stuff that's in your product requirements document. And so did you have any idea that's what that was all about?
None whatsoever. Even when you said it out, I was like, really? That's what that is? Okay.
Yeah. And so, and I'll digress here for a second, and this is a kind of a key point for everybody out there. Is it's like when you think about artificial neural networks, which is what the basic, the main core AI is neural networks, or artificial neural networks, are just trying to simulate your brain the way your brain works. It's your brain, you recognize patterns, and from sight, hearing, feeling, whatever, and that's what the artificial neural networks are trying to do, or the large language models are trying to do. So what that means is the neural networks are pattern matching engines. You can match anything. So you can match a business model, your business model, to the solution for the software that you need to build. And so you can map anything to anything. So what that boils to. So you'll learn more about what I just said just when you see. So one of the things that the Lanika method does, and I don't know if you knew it did this, Lanika, it actually finds a pattern in whatever it's analyzing. Did you know that? Huh?
No, but that makes a lot of sense, because that would be something that I would actually try to get it to look for, like where is it matching up, like how does it map and match all together. So that makes sense. That's why it would do that. But I didn't.
So guess what it also does? It finds a hidden pattern in what's said.
It's so special.
Okay. Yeah. And so the example from this morning, and I'll show you some of the results of that in a little bit. It was a less than a 90-second video, and it was I guess the guy sent it to the founder sent it to me, and it was basically a guy talking about over in this video. I came from China, and I guess he was in South America somewhere, and he was saying that it was, so if you can imagine a big room full of Apple Mini Mac computers, it's like hundreds of them. And each one of the computers was an employee for this guy's company. So just think about that for a second. But the founder that sent it to me, he was asking me what I thought of it. And I knew immediately just from listening to the video, you don't need the hardware to do this. Software does the same thing, but if you don't know, you don't know. So this 90-second video, my Lanika prompt is up to version 7, and it's called the Virtual 7 Ultra.
I love it.
Yeah, and so let me keep going. But from that 90-second video, once I used that Lanika method of prompting to analyze that 90-second video, it analyzes it based on what it knows I'm interested in, what I've been prompting about for the last 3 years or more. So, and it knows, like, if you remember when I told it, my prompt was key takeaways, insights, and actions that I should take based off those insights, based on what Kakura works with founders, we coach founders, and believe it or not, what you prompt about, the AI knows all about it. So it can tell you what your personality is. It can tell you, how well you've been prompting and what you need to improve on your prompting. It can tell you a lot of things. It can tell you what you're struggling with. and the Lanika prompt stops it from lying to you.
I don't know about all that. Sometimes I think it patronizes me a little bit.
Okay, well, so you maybe when you see, but you so like when, how would you, so like when you do you analyze articles or YouTube videos? What's your approach for analyzing articles and transcripts?
Yeah, usually I usually go in with what am I looking for out of it, like what type of perception am I looking for, or perspective. So yeah, if I was doing, let's say, a article from SHRM or something like that, I would go in and look for specifically something that has to do with this HR division or something. But yeah, that's usually what helps.
Okay, and so yeah, so okay. I don't know if I can find the original thing that I did, but I'll, maybe when I'm showing one of the videos, I'll go looking for it. But yeah, so like, so you all trying to go. So I don't know if everybody remembers how the social media companies got in trouble with causing people to get hooked on, on these continuous scrolling, get hooked. But if the logic behind that is that the algorithms or the AI agents or whatever you want to call them, they had to go to optimize engagement. And so the folks at Facebook and all these different companies, they turn these algorithms loose. And so what the algorithm does, or what AI does, it figures out how to reach that goal without any guardrails if you don't give it any guardrails. And that's exactly what happened. And so it'll do anything to keep you engaged. And so they didn't program it to do that. They just said, go for this goal, optimize engagement. So what you have to think of as a founder, as a person, whatever your goal is, the AI will help you get there. That's the way you look at it. So as you prompting, if the AI knows what your goal is, when you analyze a YouTube video or you analyze an article or a meeting transcript or a conversation, it knows what your goal is. So it'll analyze that information to move you closer to your goal, because you remember the first thing I said, what are the key takeaways? What are the insights? And what are the actions I should take based off those insights? So it's always going to lead me to what I'm trying to figure out. So does that make sense? Yeah. So that was my approach. And so this was so in the business model design. So the deal there. I won't spend a whole lot of time on this. I don't want to use up all the time, but the business model design prompt that we were using, it would take your idea, your industry, then it would find all the stakeholders in that industry and all the pain points for stakeholders, and then it would find out all the ways you can actually make money solving those pain points, 10 to 15 of them, and then it would take the top 3 and create combine the top 3 and create a business model based on the top 3. And then that would be your first lean canvas, your big idea canvas. And then it would break it up into customer segments, 5 customer segments. And then it would stress test each customer segment to do it. So in the stress testing, before I had Lanisha implemented in there, it would just go out and find the highest the market size for the customer segment and just based on scalability. But when I added the Lanika method in there, it actually went out and found the actual market size for each customer segment, the actual market size. You see the difference? And so that's what the deal was. And so and then it created the pitch and all that kind of stuff, rollout plan, pitch and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's kind of what that was all about. So I'm trying to think what's so it took the regular business model design prompt and actually went out and did actual research to do it, because like you got to realize when I asked you to run to create the 5P matrix for solution design, it did more of a thorough job than everybody else was doing. This is like the same thing.
Yeah, and a lot of it was too, like you said, knowing that the
No problem.
about that, knowing that what it knows about you and what it knows about what you're looking for and what your goals are, and just continuously prompting that in. When you stick with, I believe going to like different AI agents as well, or AI models, helps with that too, because it gives you a different perspective. They can feed back into that AI. So like if you're using a GPT versus a Gemini versus a Claude and all those other ones, and just feed them all into each other, you start to get a lot of other different answers and different depths into your and perspectives in your prompts.
Yeah,
So.
and that was exactly right. So like what I would tell people to do based on what you just said, I would actually say, so this is what my method is now. So if it's something important that I'm doing, especially like a business model design, model design, demand validation, and marketing strategy, I would run that prompt that's using the Leanika method, and then I would use my Leanika prompt to analyze it. And then so I would take that results and dump it over in a notebook LM, but I would do that in deep research mode to run the prompt. And then I would do the same thing for Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and LeChat. And when I started trying to do it with Copilot a year or two ago, it would bomb out, but now it does accept those long prompts. And so that's what my approach was with that. And that's because all the large language models are designed different, and they're going to give you a different perspective. And they're the perspective they're going to give. And I was telling somebody this today. So OpenAI got started, then some people up there went off and did, Anthropic, and so they had different ideas about what they thought. So you can see why those things are different. So if you want different perspectives, you go there, and then so like I do all this stuff, and then I dump the results over in the Notebook LM and let it reflect it back to me. And I literally so I tell people to use, because Notebook LM says understand anything. So whatever you give it, it'll synthesize it for you and help you understand it. But so on the phone, they have the app, and it's starting to get more features. But even on the phone, I use the browser because it has all the features. And then on the computer as well. And good thing about it is it's free.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of what the deal is there. So let's take a break here and have you talk a little bit about your career and how did that impact your method of prompting?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I've been more into HR and human resource management and things like that. And so diving into that and being in that type of field, we've actually got a lot of push when it comes to AI, because HR is usually where the training has to come from for things like this. And so they're really trying to get HR people to learn AI on so many fronts. With all of that in mind, though, it's been inching in slowly for years now. And I would say probably about 2022, not that far ago, 24, 25. Started actually kind of playing with OpenAI a little bit, just on the side for my personal, doing little things here and there. But once you found out, especially in HR, they talk about how AI helps with all the little tasks when you do your job descriptions or when you're doing things like recruiting and analyzing. And I know a lot of people may have remember or may be aware of when AI was really big with the ATS or applicant tracking systems, and how that a lot of companies got into trouble with the AI there just because of how the bias was getting in and everything else like that. So that really got me into trying to understand what AI was, because definitely want to make sure we're not having any bias in anything we do. But then also the fact of in recruiting, you start finding a lot of resumes that are AI and AI based. And so trying to pick the ones that are actually real and not. And so that kind of helped with getting into AI, and then also with understanding and starting to look into really what does AI look like when it gives outputs versus when a human gives an output. And then how do those merge together and what that looks like. And so that really helped with understanding like what to start prompting AI to do, because of course, the more information you give it, the better it's going to give, back to you. And as I tell everyone, it's a tool and substitution. So as a tool, you have to learn how to use it really well. And with that, it's just about how well you know how to put everything, and like you said, the guardrails, how you know how to put everything in, show where it needs to go, what fence it needs to be in, and that way, boom, it can give you everything you need to in that corral.
Okay, so like when I asked you, what was your method of prompting? You said something about you have like an analytical mind and stuff like that. So let's dig in that a little bit.
Yeah, so I will never take the first answer that AI gives me. And I definitely recommend that more people do that as well. It's just kind of challenge your AI if it gives you an answer. Even if it gives you like a couple of different choices, say, okay, hold on to that, but I just want to explore this one avenue. So you go down one path and say, okay, now go back to that prompt where we were talking about this. Okay, now let's go down this path. And so having that, taking the time to actually want to know, I like rabbit holes. So taking the time to actually go down each rabbit hole to see what all was there, what all could happen, and what all the possibilities that AI could come up with was a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're looking at alternative recommendation. So when I said your method stops the AI from lying to you, what's your response to that?
Like I said, I feel like sometimes it patronizes me. So sometimes I have to tell depending on which AI model I'm using, just like, no, stop being so nice or stop using these words, because there was a time when I was working on a certain business model I was thinking of doing, and business model had a lot of, joy and margin and happiness and all these type of words that I was using in it. And so every prompt after that, whether it was about the business model or not, was about joy and margin and happiness and everything. And so having to go in and say, no, don't do it that way. Or even honestly, sometimes taking a break from it to go to another AI model and going through that AI model. So that way it's more blank and not more objective, I would say.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you at that time, I think Claude was producing artifacts, or you were trying to say something about preserving artifacts and stuff like that. So is that just something just based on Claude?
No, actually, and it's interesting. It wasn't until after you introduced us to Claude that I started seeing where other models were using artifacts as well. I know one of the ones was one was really good at actually holding on to the past information, and then one was really bad. I don't necessarily want to call out names, but since Claude has come and Anthropic has come into the picture, both of them have actually picked up the slack and started doing artifacts, I've noticed, and started having where you can save your projects and portfolios for your chats. And so that's something else I definitely recommend if you are using a model that has where you're able to save projects and put your chats to certain projects. Okay. That helps a lot to keep you organized and keep that thread to where it's only talking about that thing and remembers everything you talked about beforehand. So it builds on it.
Gotcha. And so I noticed with my thing, it it included that part of preserving the artifacts because it knows that the AI may lose track of based on just the hallucination and the context and the window and everything. So I'm still not. So how did you really develop this analytical approach? Was something you learned in college? Is it something, or did you read some prompting thing? I'm curious about that as well.
It really was just a matter of I like going down rabbit holes and asking it questions. Because it's amazing when you start working with AI, like it'll come up with a big, huge, grand thing. And it's like, well, that's not really what I was thinking. What if we tweak it this way? And then it'll tweak it that way. And you're like, we can tweak it back this way. And so with doing that with all the models, you train it after a while to know what you like and know what you want to, what type of outputs you want.
Gotcha. Okay, so I get that a little bit. So I've been looking for the actual transcript from the prompt that I did, and I haven't found it yet. That's talking about knowing where stuff is, and
right.
I found stuff that came close, but it wasn't exactly the thing I was looking for. And so I'm looking at something here just to kind of see. But the point I want to make here, don't take for granted what we're saying here. And I'll go ahead and find the document where I got the explanation on how to do it and get that done. And then while I'm looking for that, I'll pull up the prompt I did this morning and should be able to find that pretty easy because I haven't did a whole lot of prompting today. And so I've been busy, but I say that, but you never know. Let's see if it's the last one. Let's see. And this, I'm looking for the one that, so that's there. And believe it or not, since I've been searching, it's actually got some of the stuff I found in my, and so let's look at this one. Shouldn't take but a second to find this.
I definitely feel your pain because I do that all the time. I'm like, where did I put that chat? Where was this? Where did the chat go?
Yeah. So I got it here. And so this is kind of showing you the the significance of so this right here was the 90-second video I screen recorded on my phone. So I just uploaded it to ChatGPT, and then I told it to run, please analyze the attached video with my B7 Ultra. So remember, this transcript from this video is only less than 90 seconds. So I'm gonna slowly go down this thing, and so you can. So it's only 81 seconds. So it said it was. So it figured out how many seconds it was. Let me do it a different way. I think I better just. And so remember how this prompt got started. It got started. I would analyze stuff. What are the takeaways? What are the insights? And what are the actions from those takeaways? So, and So you see, it's kind of giving you an indication. So remember, I said this video was showing a lot of Mac Minis where people were running these bots on it, and each Mac Mini was an employee. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the employee stuff. And you mentioned you're in HR, so I definitely got something I want to tell you about that. And so it said, how can founders apply these same patterns shown in the video, even without owning a Mac Mini form? So it already is telling you it's going to look for the pattern, and then it's got the subject, the core interpretation, many small machines. Let's see, from a Nietzsche lens, this is not mainly a hardware flex video. It's a symbol of operational multiplication. You got any idea what that means?
That is a $1 million Scrabble word right there.
Yeah, when I showed the video, I showed you how to analyze the video. So number two, what the video is really showing. So it's not literally taking it as its face word. It's doing your thing, doing a deeper analysis of the video. And so it's got these things: modular scale, parallel work, persistent execution, replicable architecture, human as an orchestrator. You'll learn what this orchestrator thing is, and it's got a lot to do. It was founder translation. So you see, this prompt is literally translating the article to the eyes of the founder. How can you use these patterns as a founder? The pattern underneath the pattern. You remember we're doing an 81-second video. What's the company trying to achieve repeatedly? Work decomposition, agentization. Which modules can handle by AI? Software, SOPs, human plus AI, orchestration. How many of these modules coordinated, reviewed, and improved? Yeah. So can you even imagine trying to analyze a transcript or a YouTube video for all of this and getting all this information?
No.
You remember I started with key takeaways, insights, and actions from the insights. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the founder version of the farm. So it's seeing the pattern of using all this hardware, and then it's going to come back and come up with a version that founders can actually use. And a simple explanation of this for people, just another way you talk about the patterns. So like, let's say you take a verse in a Bible or a chapter in a Bible. It's gonna, and you can ask the large language model, are you familiar with this verse or with this chapter? And it's gonna explain that verse or chapter. But then what I would do, I would ask it, what does that mean in modern day? So it can map what it meant back then to what it means now. Artificial intelligence or artificial neural networks are mapping. It's a mapping engine, so it can map anything to anything. So once you learn that, then you are learning how to use a large language model. So you see this thing is actually looking at a video and extracting the patterns and applying it to what you need to know as a founder. So it's mapping what you need to know to what the video is showing. Yeah. So it's got a strategic thing. Okay, look, it's got a job to be done. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Customer forces view. But this is all based on the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. And so but when you tailor the Lanika method to your what you're trying to do, it's going to create its own version of this for you based on your prompting history. So how would you like to use your own method of prompting? So What a question, huh? Yeah.
That's so wild. It's still wild to think that people like this is a thing. You just talk to AI. That's all it is.
Yeah, but so it's even explaining the founder thing. So some founders are just doing ad hoc writing, using ad hoc writing and thinking. Level 2, because you have to know where people are in their journey, and so this is the workflow founder, agent assisted founder, and orchestration founder. And so is there another level here? I think that's, and then then it's nice talking about the most important insight. So how can you get this much information from an 81-second video?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the power of your method of prompting.
That is still so wild.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, I would never have thought to use it in this way, and I think it's this effect can be applied in so many different ways. That's the beauty of AI.
Okay, so like you said, you never know how it can be applied, but I can tell you once you start using it, it will change your life forever. And it literally will force the AI to create agents for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it literally forces the AI to actually, if whatever you're trying to build, it will create the PR. It would do all those parts of the product requirements document. It would even code the application just based on this method of prompting, because it knows what you're trying to accomplish. You see what I'm saying? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Recommendations. Final conclusion. But it even forces the original version that I had to keep improving because of that. So let me tell you once you get this Leanstak method of prompting. So with Claude now, you've heard of the skills and stuff that with Claude. Had you noticed that when with Claude?
The skills? No. Are you talking about the different?
So basically, that video, and I'll go ahead and stop in a minute and show you the actual Notebook LM project. So right now, so you started off with just regular prompting, and then you started off with these long prompts, and then you went to AI agents, and now you go with AI agent with skills. That old days they call them tools, but so this is, so I'll tell you a story about this, a couple of things. So the skills thing, so it's whatever skills you use to do something, the AI agent, you can develop the skill, save it to an MD file, and the agent will use that skill when it needs to use it. That's the reason why you can have all these employees.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so the deal was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. This new startup popped up on my radar, and guess what? The way I described it, it's the HR department for skills. So
perfect. Yeah, perfect.
So it keeps track of all the skills. And it keeps track of how well they're doing. You see what I'm saying? HR, human relations. So when the skill is not performing where it's supposed to, then you have to do something about it. And so then the founder that sent me the video this morning, he when he saw that video, and I sent him my explanation of running this prompt here. He said, well, what's different about this than Paperclip? So Paperclip is an open source application that it's basically like a template for a company that's all ran by these AI agent with these skills. It's called Paperclip. I think it's .ing or something like that. I haven't started using it yet, but when he asked me that, I added that to the notebook. So let me just bring up the notebook real quick, and so you all can get a handle of see what I'm doing. And let's see here. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Notebook LM, it's free from Google. This is my personal account, and it's a since I ordered a lot of disk space, it gave me the professional version of Notebook LM. And so, and it's powerful. And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 things in here. This morning, I chucked the video, the transcript from the video, and loaded it here. And then this is the analysis of what I just showed you. And then later on, when the guy asked me about the paperclip thing, I went and added the paperclip website as a source. So you see what I'm saying? And so in the middle, you can chat here, just like you do with ChatGPT, but it's only going to be as a results from these particular articles here. So so that's a little description there. So he asked me about the paperclip thing, and so I didn't give it at first. I didn't have paperclip as a source, and then when I added it as a source, I went back and asked it to do the same thing again, and then I just texting back this explanation. But so remember, we're starting with a 81-second video. Look at all the documentation I got from a 81-second video. But because your prompt, Lenitra, it knows what I'm interested in, and so that's why you see all this stuff. And like here's an infographic that kind of explains it. So it knows founders are the bottleneck. That's what it's showing here. Everything's rolling through you. And then it's saying, instead of building that hardware farm, build a virtual founder team. And then going a little bit more detail about that. And then so I'm going to show you here a little again. So what I do, and I'll just show you this real quick so you understand. So this is a little trick I use with Notebook LM. I don't, people, may not realize, but, these were the normal things you get for reports. But based on the data you have over here, it generates some special reports that you can do. But what I do is I go copy these prompts out of here. I copy these, and then I use them to create infographics. I just copy and paste them into the infographic thing. I copy and paste them into the video thing. So it creates a video just actually based on that. So does that make sense, Lenika?
No, yeah, that does. That's pretty cool. I never thought about using it with Notebook LM. Ever since you showed me Notebook LM, I love that thing to death.
Yeah, but the thing about it is all this stuff that's being generated is hard to understand. But Notebook model is it helps you understand anything. It's literally synthesized anything. And so you can see I have all these videos. These are videos that I had created based on those special prompts. And then later on, so 3 hours ago, I hadn't had to create a video once I added the paperclip over here. So I had to create a video, once I did paperclip. And since we're getting late, I'll go ahead and show this video right now, this unedited version of it, so you can actually see how that works. Let me know if you can't hear it. Lenika, I'll start it here in a second. Let me get to the play button here.
No, I don't hear anything.
Okay. You still don't hear anything? It's stopping quite a bit. It's buffering. Still don't hear. Okay, let me stop it then. Okay, let's unshare. Okay, let me try it again. Make sure I include the sound. I thought it was going to automatically do it. But let me just try one more time. Make sure it includes the sound. Oh, and the sand, let's click over here. Okay, yeah, when I clicked over there, it turned off the sound. So I'll turn it back on. Okay, we should be good to go now. Let me back it up and start it over.
For an autonomous labor force running 24 hours a day, 7 days.
Excuse me a second here. Hopefully it's buffered enough now so they can.
Right now in Chinese tech hubs, buyers are hoarding hardware to power a new type of workforce, artificial intelligence agents that never sleep. These specific machines, Apple Mac Minis, are used as the physical hosts for an autonomous labor force running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. While human workers take breaks or celebrate holidays like Carnival, these machine proxies execute intellectual tasks without pause. For solo founders acting as the single bottleneck in their own companies, this endless output creates immediate pressure. Most are currently trapped in a cycle of overloaded inboxes and finite personal energy. Competing with this level of output often feels like a requirement to invest in massive physical infrastructure and maintain a room full of server racks. These hardware racks are merely the visible shell of a deeper architecture. The machines provide the parallel power, but the modular software system is what directs the execution. Scaling your execution requires a transition to a digital org chart, a management paradigm that moves work out of the founder's head and into a repeatable system. At level 1, founders use AI as an ad hoc chatbot. You paste text into a window and wait for a response, remaining the primary operator and the central point of failure for every decision. Scaling beyond this requires agentization. You break recurring daily work into specialized, independent digital roles. Separate nodes handle distinct functions. One monitors competitors, another drafts content, and a third follows up with sales leads. Operating at this level involves drafting job descriptions for specialized digital contributors and querying a search box. A collection of specialized agents working without coordination creates expensive chaos. They duplicate work and lack a unified direction. An orchestration layer provides the middle management logic necessary to coordinate these isolated roles. Software like Paperclip ensures these agents communicate and follow a hierarchy. This setup enforces goal alignment. Every microtask an agent performs must trace directly back to the company's core mission, giving the software the context to understand why the work matters. Automated heartbeats allow agents to wake up on a set schedule. They check their work queues and act autonomously without requiring a human to trigger them. To prevent infinite processing loops from draining your capital, the system assigns strict financial budgets. If an agent hits its token limit, it will stop immediately. This orchestration layer turns fragmented automation scripts into a self-managing, persistent corporate entity. The founder's role shifts toward governing the system from the top down. You are no longer the manual executor of tasks. Your daily routine involves reviewing support tickets, approving the addition of new AI roles, and adjusting strategy based on the data the system produces. A shared memory layer allows the entire system to compound its knowledge. Agents store past decisions and customer interactions universally, ensuring the company learns over time. In this model, the human remains the ultimate safety check and the visionary for the machine. Autonomy is a privilege granted by the founder. The math of task execution is changing. As the financial cost of cognition drops exponentially, the volume of parallel output your company can handle spikes upward. While Level 1 founders rely on their own limited bandwidth, Level 4 founders manage an orchestrated system that runs continuous workflows in the background. The autonomous company is an active reality. The necessary orchestration software is open source, and the individual agents are available for deployment today. Auditing your recurring daily workflows is the first step toward mapping out a digital workforce. Success depends on orchestrating a high-speed execution machine.
Cool. That was a little bit more. That particular one was after I added the paperclip or information in there. But before that, it actually has some neat stuff without the paper clips that sort of helps you do it. And I'll Do you mind? Let me show one more just so you can kind of see it without the paperclip.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, that would help it make a little bit more sense. And then I'll provide the link to the nature method of prompting, and then so you can kind of understand that and go from there. So as you can see, this got 3 sources. It's got all 3 of the sources, and then I think go to the last one. So this one's only got 2 sources. So I'll just play this one, just so you get a feel for it without the paperclip thing in there. Let's see.
A recent video out of China shows rooms packed floor to ceiling with glowing Mac minis. Row after row of these computers run specialized AI agents, software loops performing intellectual tasks 24 hours a day without human intervention. When footage like this leaks, the market reaction is immediate. The secondary price for consumer hardware spikes as businesses rush to stockpile physical machines, convinced they've discovered a shortcut to unlimited productivity. If you are an entrepreneur drowning in manual workflows, looking at a fully autonomous setup feels like looking at a lifeline. The immediate instinct is to start pricing out servers to build your own execution farm. When a founder's to-do list exceeds their waking hours, the brain looks for a physical solution to a time management crisis. The hardware farm offers the visual promise of more hands on deck, but the specific metal and silicon on those racks doesn't solve the underlying bottleneck. Focusing on the hardware means missing the true innovation. What makes this system powerful is a highly structured, invisible operating architecture, and that architecture dictates exactly how businesses will scale from now on. Stripping away the physical casing reveals the highly efficient true pattern. One command triggers dozens of execution units simultaneously, producing continuous parallel work. But in a traditional workflow, a founder handles tasks sequentially, writing emails, then analyzing feedback. Every action waits in line. This new setup bypasses that bottleneck by relying on a concept called operational multiplication. Instead of doing one task marginally faster, a single human operator directs multiple specialized routines to run simultaneously. The human provides the direction, and the parallel system handles the heavy execution. To scale execution before affording a larger payroll, you don't need rooms full of glowing boxes. You need to design a system capable of parallel work. You can build this exact same parallel structure entirely in software. We call this a digital operator stack. Break recurring manual work into isolated modules. Assign each to a specific AI processing pathway, like market intelligence or content drafting. Connect these pathways to a shared memory layer to retain context. Finally, set review rules. Some run automatically, others await manual approval. By linking 5 to 10 of these specialized software workflows, you fully replicate the output of 20 individual desktop computers. Automating repeatable decision-making drops the cost of complex execution toward a basic software license. This model increases the output possible for human hour without requiring a larger headcount. Operating a business under this digital model looks entirely different from the legacy approach. The old habit positions founders at the center of every decision, managing fragmented to-do lists. When AI is used, it acts merely as a conversational assistant to help draft a single email or brainstorm a single idea. Under the new reality, the founder becomes an orchestrator. Rather than executing every single step manually, you manage the inputs and evaluate the outputs of a persistent operating layer. However, this architecture carries a specific risk known as automation theater. If your underlying business workflows are poorly defined, adding software agents will not fix them. Connecting an automated tool to a completely broken process simply scales confusion and generates noise at a much faster rate. Before any workflow can be delegated, it must be a validated process. You must explicitly define what data it reads, the strict rules it follows, and the exact output format. Competitive advantage now rests on system design, the ability to orchestrate modular intelligence into an autonomous engine. Success depends on architecture quality, not the number of physical machines on the rack.
Cool. That one didn't do a good job explaining all the different things, but I'll post some of the videos into the our YouTube channel, post them on LinkedIn on my page and the Kakua Institute, and I'll post them on our Startup on the Box Facebook page so you can actually see some of the videos that literally walk you through step by step how to do what that just showed you. And so now I want to spend the last little bit of time just to make sure you know how to access this and build your own Lenika prompt. So let me share my screen again. So here is the instructions right here, and I'm going to put this in the chat. Let me just get this link here. And so you definitely want to copy and bookmark this link so you can do it. So it looks like we got a question here too. Let me copy the link. Yeah, feel free to ask the question. I'm definitely willing to. Because I don't want to necessarily just cause a bunch of confusion. So this is the link to the document that I'm showing you. It's got a bunch of other stuff in here that you can use. So for the nonprofits out there, this is a process I took through the Lenica method and created some documents and some videos, and that's what's there. And so here's the link to our Founders Innovation Summit that's happening next week. And so you can sign up for that and go from there on that. I'll if I get a minute, I'll pull that up. And then this is where you get into our Founders Insight program. Then this is a notebook that I created that explains what our Founders Insight program is all about. And this is a program we do for the workforce. And this is how you apply for that. And all these days we in AI enable all of those. And so this this notebook here shows you this whole idea of the architect's mindset. And so you definitely want to look at that. I thought, let's see, I thought there was another thing in here that maybe I went, okay. I didn't, I don't have it in here. But there's some other notebooks that I've created that explain a lot of things. But let's just get down to the facts about this particular thing here. So, it says prompt to generate or create your own personalized Lenica prompt. And so, so here's the prompt that I had created to actually to help you create your own Lenica prompt. And what I used to do in the past, I would just, the prompts that I shared with the founders, I would just say, have it, put the prompt into the chat, don't run it, but just ask the large language model, please extract the Lenica method out of the prompt. And that's basically what I would tell people to do. But most people wouldn't even take time to do that. So I decided to create this long prompt here. And I just asked AI to do it. So what I did was I was talking to my developer and explaining it to him and how to do it. And then I had a series of prompts. And then I just asked the thing based on what I told him to please create a prompt. And this is the prompt it created. And so you would basically just copy this whole prompt, Control A, Control C, and go to your large language model. Let's say chat GPT, and paste it in there. And let's get up to the top of it. So, and see, it says it wants this input. And so what I always do, and I don't know if most of you all realize that any prompt that requires input, you can tell it what the input is at the beginning of the prompt. Okay, I did a mistake there. So let me see, can I stop it here? I wasn't supposed to hit run. I hit enter. And let's just see. Let's see, trying to get it to stop. But let me just do a, let's go back to the document. So that's the quickest way to do it. So here we go. So it says, type this in at the thing. I didn't follow my own instructions. Copy this, and I'll just do a new chat since I messed up that. And I would paste this in here, and based on my entire prompting history, run the following framework. Or you could say prompt or whatever. Then I would go get this thing again. This is what you can prompt copy it here. Controls A, Control C, go over here, and then I would just paste this here. And so when you run this, it's going to go get your whole prompting history and use that as the input for this prompt. So does that make sense, Zanika? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that does. And then even the fact that you can specify which prompting history you want based off of that, that's pretty cool. So that,
yeah, you could, yeah. Yeah. And so, so it's creating another Lanika prompt for me. I wasn't planning on doing this, but oh, look here, look, it's improving. Now it's gonna look at PRDs and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Because it's using my more of my prompting history now. System design prompts, prompt architecture prompts. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's literally taking what I've been prompting about and creating a prompt. So now if I was to go analyze that same transcript, the output is going to be based on that. Preferred outputs.
that is wild. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, so it's still going. Yeah. So if you've been prompting a lot, it's going to literally find out what you doing. So look at this friction loop detection. So this part is painful because it's going to tell you how bad you've been doing and where you're struggling with and everything. It's not going to lie to you. It's going to tell you the truth. But you had no idea because when you answered me, it was less than 2 minutes, and that answer evolved to this, and this is not all it evolved to be honest with you. So isn't this crazy?
This is wild. I'm still like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, that's like you said, the great thing about AI. It can get so personalized, and it is going to be where, you know, everyone's basically going to have like an AI agent for everything. Lloyd specific.
Oh, look at here. It's going to build an operating system based on your prompt. So how crazy is this?
Very much so.
So I never even thought that I should run this prompt again. So I'm glad I ran it because it's taking what your prompt has taught me, and it knows more of what I'm looking for now. Mm-hmm. So how crazy is this?
No, yeah. I mean, it makes me think that you have to keep doing this like periodically.
Yeah. So what should I call this? My version? I'm gonna say what name it gives this particular prompt. But how crazy is this?
So wild. Yeah, watch it be like the super ultra.
Yeah. But because like I've been learning so much based on your prompting and analyzing stuff, it's literally I literally can't believe this thing is still going. Okay, it says final synthesis.
It's got to stop some point. Knowledge to infrastructure. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, thank you for getting me to run this. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh, now you have see it's the Lloyd point. Yay.
Yeah. So look, it wants to create a formal Lloyd Lanica OS specification. How crazy is that? So you remember that original prompt was takeaways, insights, and action. So this is, to me, this is the action part. More of the action part that it should actually do. So I'm hoping everybody sees how you can, if you take time to follow these instructions, based on your prompting history, it literally will take your whole prompting history. You can do this in each large language model. You don't have to just, since I use so, I can go do it in other ones too. But just so you see the value of this thing. So and my reason for this is so people can stop letting the AI lead them down the wrong path.
Yes.
Yeah. And so in your session at the Innovation Summit, it's going to be a bunch of folks like you that actually going to do their philosophy. So Ray from Memphis, he's going to be on there. And so I think he's been using the Lanica method, but long story short, he had a long background in the real estate industry. So now he's creating these AI applications to take over every function in the real estate business. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
okay.
What he showed us a couple of weeks ago, he has this latest application takes care of the offer process, so the negotiating process. It does that automatically, and he's literally automating all these realtors' office, based on using AI. His expertise in the industry, he's applying that and doing stuff. So if you don't, this will change your whole life. I'm literally telling you, if you take time to do this. And so I can't even imagine what it would do in your case, Lanica.
It'll probably be like overload.
Yeah, but I hope everybody sees the significance of this, and yeah, just how crazy is this?
No, yeah, I want to run it myself to see what it's going to come up with, to make it better for me, because it can always be better. And like you said, it's not letting AI lead you down the wrong path, and always using it as that tool and not using it as a substitution, letting it just say what it says and taking it at value.
Yeah, so I forgot, Mr. Russell, I forgot for this. So would you agree that this will work best if the subject uses AI prompts frequently over an extended period of time, like the past months or years? So basically, it's the way I worded it. I just told it to take the whole prompting history, but it'll find the patterns and everything you've been doing, and it was the last month. You can run this thing just for what you did in the last week. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't really care, and that's so. Like if you stick with us, so like all the people that attend the Innovation Summit, we're going to give them a whole prompt pack on all these things that you can do to use. So you may not realize that all your prompting that you do in these things, that's literally your second brain. So I will give everybody a prompt to take all that stuff that you've been prompting about and do an analysis for to help you understand you as if in a second brain context. So literally it's learning your patterns. It knows all about you. So now you want to understand that and have it reflected back to you. And believe me, it's going to be painful. It's going to tell you everything you're actually doing wrong. How does this apply to med tech, where each decision is made has a high cost and morbidity and mortality if it's wrong? And so, so let me explain something. So I'm trying to think how to say this. So when you do deep research using your large language models, it's actually trying to do credible sources, and then if you have Notebook LM do the research, let me see if I can find where are you? And well, if you have Notebook LM to do the research, it's actually, so like in Notebook LM, so y'all just listen to me good here. So you have this option of doing a prompt here and have it do fast research or deep research. So when you do the deep research, you're supposed to go out and get credible sources, not just any source. And so let me tell you one thing. I told folks this in the past. I tell folks this in the past. If a person doesn't have much AI prompting history, this wouldn't work as well. And so, I'm trying to think. So if you don't have prompting history, this is what. But you do have some. So like let's say for example, people that don't have any prompting history, what I tell them to do is the first prompt you should make is whatever expertise you do have, you just ask the AI if it's familiar with that. Are you familiar with that? And then you start doing stuff. But as it doesn't. So let me try to explain this to you. So when you start using the AI, the only way you're going to get comfortable with it, is that you have to access something that you are familiar with. So there was I missed our networking session today because I was attending an in-person network session, and this pastor got up and said, and he said he don't know how to trust AI, and he's a pastor. So about 2 years ago, I created an AI agent in less than 2 minutes that was an expert on the Bible using Taskade. And so I gave that agent to my brother, who is a pastor. And so he's been using that for 2 years, and he said he hasn't found anything yet that's based on his study of the Bible and preaching, he hasn't found anything yet that agent said wrong. But see, because you're limited, so this is the thing for this particular question. So like what I would do if I were you, I would use Notebook LM. It's free, and whatever background information sources, medical papers or whatever, I would physically load those things here as sources and then do my prompting based on that. Now all your prompting is limited to information that you think is credible. Does that make sense? So that's the way you can use it kind of safely in that respect. But so you have to, so the real answer to that question too, and taking it in another way, most people prompt without using a framework. So when we work with founders, we work with the LEANSTACK framework. So it's a framework. So all the answers are bounded by this framework. So when you go out and prompt about your business that you're working on, and you don't have it against the framework, you're getting all the information that's out there on these large language models instead of bounding it in a framework. So another example, people that use AI for RFPs and to answer RFPs, the reason why that works is because the AI is limited to whatever that request for a proposal is. It can't go out, it's limited to that. But if you just ask it about a particular business or marketing plan, it's going to base on everything out there. But when you have it limited to certain frameworks, it's not going to go outside of that framework. And remember what I said was the AI is a pattern matching engine. Whatever data the large language models got everything. So you definitely, it's going to hallucinate if you don't constrain it to what you're interested in, or give it a boundary. Yeah. And so this is a question. So it's Notebook LM free. If you got a Gmail account, you have Notebook LM. All you have to do is type Notebook LM in the browser, and it'll come up. These videos that I'm showing you here today, they are the latest version. I think you have to have a paid account to do that. But the other videos are just as good. Okay, so this question is, how do you make a framework in ChatGPT? So it depends on what you're trying to prompt about. And so I'm trying to think of what's a good way to answer this thing. So this is an example. So can you come up with a similar example? So in 2023, we were running a cohort and we were having a demo day, and so that morning I was reading an article that showed up on my Google feed. It said 100x your business with AI. I said, well, I've been working with AI since the 90s, so I know all about AI. Now, you telling me I can 100x my business with it. So I was working with founders on the lean startup methodology with the lean canvas. So the first thing I did, I didn't assume I knew anything about what the large language model knew. So I just, first question I asked her, are you familiar with the lean canvas? And it spit it out that it's familiar with the lean canvas. Then I told it a business idea and said, please create me a lean canvas. And it created the lean canvas for the business idea. So the lean canvas constrains it. It constrains the AI to that format. And then we were having a demo day that day, and there were 10 founders from Blacks in Technology pitching, and so I said, after me running I said, this is amazing, because I actually gave it one of the founders' idea and had it create a pitch based on the template that they were pitching from. And so I shared that with the founder, and then I sent out the prompt to all the founders to do that. And the 3 founders that responded to me that day, they all 3 won $1,000 that night, because the AI was constrained to what their idea was, and it was constrained to the format of the pitch, and they followed that, and they won. And that's the significance. So a framework is like anything out there, a method that's used in industry. So, and I can guarantee you, any framework that you can think of, the AI is familiar with it. So when you ask questions around that framework, it focus the answer on that. But if you do this Lanicha prompt, it's going to automatically stop the AI from line trade. So I know we're running way over time, but I wanted to let you all know so this is another way I use the Lanicha prompt. Lanika, you know my wife Robin, right? And you know her personality. and I told this story before. So I had a graduate student from University of Florida send me a document, and she wanted me to. It was about the Green Book in the Pensacola area. She wanted me to kind of verify the stuff she had in there. I said, well, my wife is the historian, so I sent the stuff to her, and so something dawned on me. I said, why don't I just dump the document in Notebook LM? And I did, and I was amazed at what it told me about the stuff here in Pensacola. And then so the next day, I sent that notebook to Robin and the graduate student and the department head. And Robin told me that I shouldn't have done that, and that and I should reach out to the lady and apologize. So I did what Robin said. I sent the lady an email and I apologized. I for jumping the gun on that. But I was using the notebook LM to analyze what she gave me, so to see if it made sense. And then so I called, and the lady, the graduate student, she wasn't familiar with notebook LM. She was actually excited about it. So I said, well, so I started thinking. I said, well, Robin is a researcher, and she always talking about all these sources that you have to verify. And this is the way somebody asked a question about the medical thing. And so this is the thing about the medical thing. So I told ChatGPT to act like a historian, a researcher that verifies all the sources, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing I know, this thing created me, based on the linear method, created me 7 agents to do research. It first goes out and validates all the research, and then it does all these other agents do different things with the research. And then the final agent, it actually communicates the finding. So this particular thing, I can analyze, just do any research on, so guess what? In the process of me doing research, it actually ended up creating several more versions of this, and it called it the historical pattern engine, and it created several more versions of it, and for founders that I can use for founders, et cetera, et cetera. And so what I'm telling you, this particular thing, it goes out and finds and validates all the sources, and I dump that in, run it in all the whatever I'm researching. I dump it into each one of the language models, and then I run a little niche analysis on it. So so you know how many times I say your name, Lanika? This is like 20, 30 times a day. and then and created the notebook with all that stuff in it. And so I've used that to diagnose. I had a conversation with my younger sister, and she explained all her symptoms. So I literally took that transcript from that conversation, fed it to the Lanika historic pattern engine, and it literally found out diagnosed all of her symptoms, found out all the medical reports, and told her what genes were causing it and everything. And found out that it was hereditary, because she knows my mother having it before she passed away. She had it, and she knows her kids having it. And all the symptoms, they identified the 2 genes that were actually causing the problem. And I've used this prompt so much, based on this program that you're all on right now, this is probably the longest I ever ran. The lady was seeing this on LinkedIn, and so she called me up and said, I need some help. She's got a Silicon Valley company that's partnering with her nonprofit, and she has some questions. So I turned this particular prompt on her nonprofit, on the Silicon Valley company, and it went out and found everything about them. Her company, nonprofit, all the 990 since she was there. I did the same thing for Habitat for Humanity here in Pensacola, and then had to go and brief them about AI, and they were floored away because the thing knew everything about them. How crazy is that? You see how this stuff is just really crazy. So it's really really serious. And so the lady that reached out to me, so she put me on a $2,500 retainer to help her out. Yeah, you hear what I'm saying?
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah, I'm also wondering where's my cat? No, I'm kidding.
So you're famous because everybody's going to be using your prompting method after the night. I've told people about it, in workshops and all over the state of Florida. And guess what? I got to brief some in a week and a half. I got to do a 4-hour workshop for some entrepreneurs from all over Africa. and this is the local diplomacy council going to bring them in, and we're going to host it at the thing. And so I'm going to teach them all this stuff about what we learned about founders, and go on from there. So, but already founders in Africa are already using your Leanika method. So yeah. So who?
That's so cool. I'm international now. That's cool.
So this is how do you, so they want to know how to get hold to you. So this is what so now you may have came on a little late. Let me find the deal. So I'm going to share this document with you, Anima. I'm going to copy and I'm going to put it in the chat again. So this document has the how do you create the Leanika prompt for you. So I'll put it in there again, just the method. And so down at the bottom of this document, that's the thing to this document. But down at the bottom, if I can get it to scroll down, this is how to generate, create your own personalized Leanika prompt. And so if you just follow these instructions, it'll actually do it. And I just did it for myself. I don't know if you were in here. So based on my entire prompt is to run the following framework. And so this was the prompt from that page. And then this is all the stuff it created for me. Because when I initially ran this prompt, it was back in October. So this, when I ran it this time, so it's got all the information about my prompting since last October. And so you can literally tell how much stuff has improved from that. So now once you get this prompt, you use it to analyze articles, you use it to analyze and the first thing you should do when you do this tonight, you should tomorrow or whatever, when you get the YouTube video, you get the link to this YouTube video and use your Leanika prompt and ask it to analyze this particular transcript. And so, so this is what people don't realize. I haven't read a transcript in I don't know how many years, because all I was interested in is the key takeaways, the insights, and actual insight. So now when I do the thing, I get all this information about this. And if it's something I'm really interested in, I dump it in a notebook LLM and have it explain it back to me. And so what I probably need to do, I need to take this prompt right here, dump it in a notebook LLM and have it explain it to me, because it's got so much information. Because it knows I want to create applications to support founders. So it literally is doing you see what it's doing? All these founder analysis, all this stuff. And so I didn't tell y'all this earlier. See the skill agent extraction? You know why it's got that in there? So literally all these how-to YouTube videos, you can once you create your Leanika prompt, you can tell it to create you another version to extract the skills and attract YouTube video and try to get all the skills out of that, because the skills are what agents can use to do work. You can use it, say, if they talk about all these workflows, you can use this prompt to have it analyze the things. So please take all the workflows, extract all the workflows out of this particular YouTube video. You can literally reverse engineer anything they're telling you on the YouTube videos. How crazy is that? You hear what I'm saying, Leanika? Because you remember,
that's so cool. It's amazing.
So you remember what I told you about neural networks? Neural networks, which is what the large language models are based on, it's governed by this universal approximation theorem. And so in math, you have these theorems. And so basically what it says about neural networks, that it can learn any data pattern, And everything in the world is a data pattern. Everything in the world is a data pattern. So it can learn any data pattern. And then the second thing, it says it can model any function. That literally means it can copy any mathematical function. It can, if you don't, it can copy a proprietary formula, anything. So because that's what the theorem says. And so like when you show it some data that was created by a supercomputer and you have the inputs and outputs, the neural network will extract what that program does. You can use the same thing with a electronic circuit or a chip. You get information in, you get information out, and you feed that information to an artificial neural network. It'll reduplicate the function of that chip. So if the person that you think is the expert in everything, if you follow what that person does, and you can literally, it's crazy. You can that's the power of it. And once you understand that, you can get the AI to stop lying to you and do the stuff it needs to do. But you have to engage. And the reason why I'm telling everybody this, because listening to the CEO of Anthropic less than a month ago, he was saying that the capability of these large language models doubles every 4 months. So by the end of the year, it's going to be 4 times more capable than it is now. It's going to quadruple. So so I'm just trying to, and that's why we do the Innovation Summit, so you can actually learn all this stuff and stop using the AI like a vending machine. Stop doing all these prompts that are not constrained and giving you all this hallucination stuff. Yeah, if you're an expert in something, I'm telling you that. So guess what? So like when I had to reflect on my prompting history, it literally created an agent that can reduplicate me based on my prompting history. So you see what I'm saying? So that's how powerful this. All these prompts I've been showing you, I didn't create any of them. I just had the AI knows what my goal is, and so it automatically creates them for me. Remember what I said? All the social media, the algorithms to optimize for engagement. It doesn't tell them how to. They don't tell the AI how to optimize for engagement. The agent figures it out. And so long as the AI knows what you're trying to accomplish, and of course with some guidelines and everything, it'll figure out how to get you what you're trying to accomplish. Now, hope this thing was helpful, and Lanika, I'm definitely open to collaborating with you, because literally you can see how it literally changed my whole prompting thing. So what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I'm open for all of it. I'm open for all of it.
Okay. But and so imagine I've been doing workshops and all over Florida, and guess whose name comes up at least 10 times in every workshop. You didn't even know that, did you? Yeah. So, but now,
No.
After tonight, people are going to start sharing that prompt and sharing how to use it. But it's literally to help people move forward with AI and take advantage of the AI. But it's a goal-seeking mechanism. If you tell it what the goal is, and it'll get you to where you want to go. All right. Any last minute questions from anybody? And Lanika, so you're definitely my hero, and I'll say that publicly so people will know, because you literally I've used your method, and it's literally made a difference in my life and my family's life, and everything, you know. So, yeah. So, you got any parting comments before we get out of here? Are you just Florida flabbergasted?
No, I just, this is amazing and cool. Anything that'll help anybody, I'm all for it. Anything that can help anybody do anything. That's what we are in my family. Just, and you know how we are. Anything that helps, we're all about it. So I'm glad there is something that I was able to contribute to help others and hopefully help more.
Yep. So you don't have to worry. It's definitely helping people, and so I'm anxious to see your prompt, because your results, it's going to be really fantastic. I already know that from that. So definitely take a look at that document and definitely sign up for our Founders Insight program. Sign up for the Innovation Summit. We're going to have technology demonstration. We're going to have a couple of robot dogs. We're going to have IntelliDoor. It's a electronic, a classical door that's going to revolutionize the security industry. We're just going to have a lot of great stuff for people. So don't hesitate to get involved. And thank you all for watching. And we'll see y'all next week. Next week, we're going to have Constance on, and she's a procurement specialist. She knows all about government contracting, and she knows all the secret, and she's a subject matter expert in that. And so she works with the government, for the government, as an independent contractor. And so, she was on networking last week, and so we're going to help her scale her business out to whatever and move things forward. All righty. Thank you all very much. And I hope this was helpful to a lot of you all. Join our Founders Insight program. Register for our conference. It's going to be virtual and in person, so you can't lose, and you need to register even if you're not available, so you can get access to the videos. Thanks a lot, Lanika. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Lloyd. Always great seeing you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.